Osteoporosis occurs without any special indications and can bring about death through complications. It is a major health threat, especially to post-menopausal women. What can be done to maintain bone health? A disease must be known in order to prevent it. From Health Report, we learn the accurate cause and diagnosis of osteoporosis. From best exercise methods, we learn the exercises that can reduce injury and maintain the health of bones. What kinds of food are good for the bones? From healthy foods, we find some foods that promote bone health. The pillars of the body, the bones. With age or an imbalance in nutrition, the bones weaken. Fact, 42% of females are diagnosed with decreased bone density. In this way, as the bones that support the body weaken, a significant threat to life arises. Let's get to know osteoporosis properly and seek out a plan to overcome it. Osteoporosis is the result of 30% or more bone loss. Bones become so brittle that fractures easily occur. Bone fractures occur mostly among the elderly, especially post-menopausal women. Osteoporosis is called the silent disease because there are no indications of pain. That is why regular exams are important. Bone density testing can diagnose osteoporosis before bone fractures can occur. It can also assess the probability of bone fractures.
지금 골다공증 검사 결과 79%로 좀 떨어져 있으시거든요. 마이너스 1.3 이렇게 초록색이 안전한 부위고 여기보다 이제 떨어져 있으세요.
Generally, a decrease in women's hormones after menopause also decreases bone density. Osteoporosis patients have such high rates of loss that they fall far short of the average in their age range. In a normal person's X-ray, the shape of the bones can be seen clearly. In the case of an osteoporosis patient, the shape of the bones are faint. When osteoporosis occurs, fractures easily occur at the femur, the back, or the wrists. Comparing a section of bone from an osteoporotic patient clearly shows the seriousness of osteoporosis. In the case of women, bone density begins to decline around the age of 40. 9% is lost during 10 years after menopause.
골다공증은 자각 증상이 없기 때문에 본인이 알 수 있는 방법은 없습니다. 그래서 골다공증을 진단을 하려면 병원에 가서 일단 기본적으로 엑스레이를 찍고 의심이 될 경우에 골 밀도 검사를 해서 진단을 내릴 수 있습니다.
In a study done on 660 women over the age of 30, the Korean Orthopedic Institute found that 35% of the women suffered from osteopenia and 7% from osteoporosis. Occurrence of osteoporosis increases by a wide margin past the age of 50. Osteoporosis by itself is not a problem because it doesn't produce pain. However, the problem is the frequency of fractures caused by bone weakness. Deaths caused by femur fractures are as high as 15%. As shown, many women are seriously affected by osteoporosis. However, there is a lack of awareness. Conquest of disease is only possible when there is an understanding of it.
골다공증은 주로 폐경기 여성에게만 온다는 것이 사실인가요?
틀립니다. 폐경기 여성에서도 주로 많이 오지만 남성에게서도 골다공증이 올 수 있고요. 요즘 젊은 여성들이 골다공증이 증가되는 추세에 있는데 그 이유로는 잘못된 다이어트와 그다음에 음주, 흡연의 증가로 인해서 여성들의 골다공증이 증가 추세에 있습니다.
골다공증 환자에게 가장 필요한 것은 무엇이 있나요?
물론 이제 다른 것도 중요한데 칼슘이 필요한 거는 맞습니다. 칼슘을 섭취하는 방법으로는 이제 두 가지가 있는데, 하나는 음식으로서 섭취하는 방법이 있고, 또 하나는 이제 약재로 섭취하는 방법이 있습니다. 근데 약재로 섭취하는 경우에는 간편하긴 하지만 위장 장애라든지, 그다음에 요로 결석, 변비, 그런 부작용들이 나타날 수 있어서 장기적인 복용인 경우에는 음식으로서 섭취하고, 그 칼슘 약으로 복용하는 거는 보충을 하는 것이 좋을 것으로 생각됩니다.
골다공증 환자가 평소에 주의할 점은 무엇입니까?
골다공증에 있어서 예방과 치료에 중요한 것은 운동입니다. 그래서 그 뼈에 좋은 운동은 관절에 무리가 되지 않고 체중 부하가 되는 근육 운동이 좋은데, 가장 추천할 만한 방법으로는 빨리 걷는 것이 가장 좋습니다. 그래서 하루에 40분 정도, 일주일에 한 5번, 속도는 이제 그 숨이 약간 차는 정도, 맥박이 좀 빨라지는 정도가 좋겠습니다.
Neglecting exercise due to weak bones is a shortcut to worsening osteoporosis. If you lead a proper lifestyle, instead of letting the fear of fractures limit your life, then your bones naturally become healthier. Osteoporosis is closely related to the changes in women's hormones. Mrs. Kim gave birth to her second son 10 months ago. Delivery adversely affected her bone density. Sensing abnormality in her back and wrists, Mrs. Kim decided to take a bone density test. Women's bones naturally weaken after delivery. Just how bad is Mrs. Kim's bone density?
골밀도 결과가 나왔는데요. 여기 보시면은 척추골은 약간 아주 좋은 쪽으로 나왔는데, 대퇴골은 약간 마이너스 쪽으로 나왔거든요.
In the case of women, bone density increases until the late 20s. With menopause, bone density decreases drastically. If a woman fails to take proper care after delivery, her loss can be as severe as post-menopausal women. It is important for osteoporotic patients to have good daily habits. Strenuous activities after delivery or engaging in housework with bad posture is absolutely prohibited. Eating instant foods destroys nutritional balance and has a negative effect on the bones. Remember that eating nutritious foods has a direct effect on your bones. Coffee is osteoporosis's worst enemy. It expels the consumed calcium from the body. Drinking more than 2 cups of coffee per day is bad for bone health. Osteoporosis. A disease without clear indications. However, if you are watchful, you can find suspicious indicators.
골다공증은 조용한 질환입니다. 증상이 없기 때문에 조기 치료의 기회를 놓치게 됨으로써 치명적인 상태까지 이르게 됩니다. 과거에는 갱년기 질환으로 간주된 적도 있지만, 골다공증은 남녀노소 누구에게나 오는 질환입니다. 또한 일생을 통하여 예방과 치료를 해주어야 하는 질환입니다.
As you all know, exercise helps your bones grow stronger. But if you suffer from osteoporosis, then you have to be careful in which exercise you do. For example, high-impact exercise can hurt rather than help by causing fractures. So then what type of exercise can help our bones to grow stronger without the risk of injury? Let's go and see.
Exercise during middle age is most important. At this age, when health is easily ruined, exercise can be more effective than consuming vitamins. The same is true for bone health as well. The increase in life expectancy has also brought increasing suffering from age-related illnesses. In the case of women, 40% of life is lived after menopause. Accordingly, the number of women who suffer from post-menopausal osteoporosis has grown. After the age of 35, 1% of bone density is lost per year. That is why bone should be made strong while young, like a savings account. Bone exercise is necessary from when a person reaches their 30s. What effect does exercise have in preventing bone loss? Exercise suppresses bone loss and increases osin levels for postmenopausal women. Exercises that increase bone density are better than cardiovascular exercises that burn fat. Exercises that require physical exertion from the bones, such as 30 minutes of fast walking, jogging, weight training, or cycling are good. Consistent muscular exercise is also necessary because strong muscles also protect bones. Swimming is suggested as well because it helps the body with balance and flexibility, reducing the chances of falling.
운동을 우리가 이제 하게 되면 이제 뼈는 어떤 그런 물리적인 힘을 받게 됩니다. 굽어지는 힘, 그 다음에 이제 이 종축 쪽으로 이렇게 누르는 힘, 이런 어떤 힘을 받게 되는데 그 힘에 따라서 새롭게 생성시키는 자극을 운동이 한다는 점에서 운동을 규칙적으로 이렇게 하시게 되면 어떤 그런 물리적인 힘이 뼈에는 바로 그 뼈를 더 단단하게 하고 더 길게 하고 이런 어떤 작용을 하게 되는 거죠.
When osteoporosis causes hip bones to break, 20% of the victims die within a year, and 50% will spend the rest of their lives disabled. Osteoporosis patients are always in danger of fractures. Therefore, strenuous exercise can actually hurt the bones. Exercises that do not endanger the bones must be chosen. Aquatic exercises are relatively safe from injury. If osteoporosis is progressing, it is best to choose such aquatic exercises. The bones can be strengthened safely if equipment is also used.
안녕하세요.
네, 안녕하세요.
네, 수중현술 배우러 왔는데 좀 가르쳐주겠어요?
네, 잘하셨습니다. 그럼 준비 운동 먼저 하고 시작할게요. 준비 운동은요. 발목
Warming up the muscles and joints before exercise is a must. It decreases chances of injury and can increase the effect of exercise.
준비 운동 간단하게 여기까지 하고요. 이제 물속으로 들어갈게요. 따라오세요. 이건 아쿠아 ABS라는 건데요. 네, 등을 판에 대시고요. 완전히 등에 대시고요. 네, 그렇죠. 완전히 붙이시고 공을 잡으시고요. 두 발 모으시고 예, 제 손 있는 데까지 올리셨다가 두 발 모두 그렇죠. 다시 내리시고 배가 당기세요.
네.
예, 복근 운동하는 거예요. 복근 운동과 힙업,
힙업?
예, 힙 운동을 하는 거예요.
This equipment exercises the lower body, which is easily weakened with age. It especially strengthens the femur, which is prone to the effects of osteoporosis. It is quite effective at preventing injury to the hip joints. Even the easiest movements require a lot of energy underwater.
이게 지금 물속에서 부력이 있어서 부력과 저항이 있어서 물의 저항을 받고 부력이 있어서 몸에 떠 있기 때문에 더 힘드신 거예요. 그래서 효과는 훨씬 크고요. 물 밖에 사는 것보다.
This equipment exercises the arms, chest, and legs. Because such exercises on land require so much energy, most women osteoporosis patients can't even think of doing them. Underwater, however, they are much easier to do.
허리를 곧게 펴는데 이 상태로 뒤로 넘어가시면 안 돼요. 그러면은 몸 전체를 당기시는 거기 때문에 운동의 효과가 떨어져요. 가슴 운동을 하는 거기 때문에 팔로 가슴 쪽을 당겨서 운동하시는 거예요. 그렇죠.
Aquatic health requires the use of various equipment. 3 minutes per exercise equipment, 3 sets with each piece of equipment is effective. This equipment exercises both the upper and lower bodies. It is especially good for middle-aged women's bone health because it does not stress the joints. This equipment allows you to exercise using the water's forward and backward resistance. It is especially good for the femur region. The bigger the movement, the better the effect.
물의 특성 4가지, 부력, 수온, 수압, 저항 등의 특성을 잘 살려서요. 뼈가 아프신다거나 관절염이 있으신 분들이 아무런 무리 없이 물속에서 할 수 있는 그런 운동기구입니다. 일반 헬스장보다 약간 물속에서 하는 게 본인이 느끼기에는, 운동하는 사람이 느끼기에는 별로 효과가 없는 것 같은데 실제로는 약 한 3배 정도의 효과가, 더 큰 효과가 있습니다.
When exercising underwater, the buoyancy of the water decreases body weight by 1/3. The biggest advantage of aquatic exercise is low risk of injury and ease of movement. Even patients with back disc problems or arthritis can do them. Aquatic exercises using equipment are especially good for patients with osteoporosis.
헬스는 이제 어떤 그 부유 도구를 갖다가 이용을 해서 저항을 주거나 또 물속에서 이제 납덩이와 같은 것을 가지고 관절에 저항을 줄 때 보다 효율적으로 그러한 부하를 만들어낼 수만 있다면 그 효율성에 따라서 뼈는 상당한 정도로 좋은 그 효과를 얻을 수 있다고 생각을 합니다.
It is important to do light daily exercises for bone health. Strong bones can be made through simple aerobic exercises too. Exercising the areas that are easily affected by osteoporosis is good. Be careful not to stress the knees or back during such exercises. People who have osteoporosis must be careful in their daily activities. When rising out of bed, don't rise suddenly. Roll your body and support it with many parts of the body as you rise. When tying shoelaces, it is best to sit on a chair and prop the foot on a pedestal. This keeps the back straight and requires only the hips to be bent. Bending the back too much stresses the bones. When picking up objects from the ground, lower one knee to prevent the back or knees from bending too much. Exercises for bone health. Let's find the effective way of exercise. All the food we eat becomes flesh and bones. Middle-agers whose bones are weakening need to consume nutrients that supplement. What kinds of foods are there that can strengthen our bones? Consumption of nutritious food is important, especially up until the teenage years when the bones are growing. If the bones aren't strengthened by this time, they will suffer for the rest of their lives. Nutritional imbalance is a serious problem among today's teenagers. Their consumption of cholesterol is increasing, while their consumption of calcium, which is important for bone health, is decreasing. Balanced consumption of nutrition is most important. However, in order to maintain strong bones, a certain quantity of calcium must be consumed. In the case of a normal Korean person, the recommended daily intake of calcium is 700 milligrams. Calcium is abundant in such foods as anchovies, which are consumed whole, milk and dairy products, seafoods, beans, grains, and green vegetables. Even if a person has naturally strong bones, after the age of 35, calcium leaves the body, causing bone problems. Before problems arise with the bones, enough calcium should be consumed from childhood. The foods that modern people eat are devastating nutritional balance. These foods cause serious problems because they take calcium away. Salts, carbohydrates, and caffeine expel calcium from the body before it is absorbed. Eating the very best quality calciums is worthless if they are eaten along with such foods.
칼슘이 체내에서 이용이 잘 돼야 되겠고, 그다음에 뼈에 칼슘이 밖으로 유출되지 않는 것이 중요합니다. 탄산음료를 장기간 너무 많이 섭취하게 되면 이게 강한 산성을 띠기 때문에 뼈에 칼슘이 밖으로 유출이 될 수가 있어요. 그다음에 칼슘과 이인이라는 성분의 밸런스가 중요한데, 이게 이인이 너무 많은 식품, 예를 들어서 뭐 특수한 청량음료나 고기 같은 거 과다하게 섭취할 경우에 균형이 깨져서 칼슘이 밖으로 손실이 될 수가 있습니다.
Milk is a food item that contains large quantities of calcium. Calcium in milk has a high absorption rate in the body. It is popular as a food product that promotes strong bones in both adults and children. Dark green vegetables also contain large quantities of calcium. However, the most important thing is that consumed calcium is absorbed. Menopausal women experience a reduction in estrogen production as well as calcium absorption. Calcium absorption is assisted by vitamin D. Vitamin D is abundant in blue-black fish, such as mackerel and mackerel pikes. These foods help the intestines absorb the consumed calcium and play a major role in promoting strong bones. Cheese contains abundant amounts of calcium. Cheese is produced by congealing milk. There are over 400 types of cheeses. Cheeses are literally bundles of protein and calcium that affect bones. Cheese, along with fat, is a nutritious food that contains calcium, phosphorus, minerals, and vitamins. A slice of low-fat cheese contains 120 milligrams of calcium. Consuming 5 slices of cheese provides the recommended daily allowance of calcium. Cheese is enjoyed by both adults and children. It is considered to be one of the most nutritious foods for growing children. And it is also a great food item for osteoporosis that prevents bone destruction in adults. Thanks to the high nutritional content in cheese, some doctors prescribe cheese diets. Aged cheese produces calcium that is quickly absorbed into the body, as well as having low cholesterol content. What kinds of cheese contain an abundance of calcium?
파르미자노 레지아노라는 치즈인데요. 이게 칼슘이 풍부한 치즈로 권해드리고 싶은 치즈예요. 여기 보시면 이렇게 하얀색 결정체가 보이실 텐데요. 체내 흡수도 굉장히 빠르고요. 이태리에서는 의사들이 칼슘 처방전 대신에 이 치즈를 처방전으로 내놓기도 한다고 합니다.
Ways to cook cheese to increase calcium absorption. How should it be cooked to maintain strong bones? The best foods for bones are foods that combine vitamin D and calcium. Insert cheese in the mackerel pike that has a high content of vitamin D, which speeds absorption of the calcium. Put it in the oven and bake till golden brown. Clean yet full of calcium and vitamin D, the mackerel pike cheese roll is complete. Cheese is full of flavor and complements other ingredients. Therefore, it is easy to cook. Cheese is loved by people all over the world. Cheese is a great food that is full of flavor and nutrition. The calcium absorption rate for growing children is 40%. However, as we age, the absorption rate of calcium decreases. Also, calcium consumption becomes meaningless, especially when we eat salty and spicy foods. Calcium, the absolute source of nutrients for healthy bones. What kinds of foods contain the most calcium? As we age, bone aging is unavoidable. However, osteoporosis is becoming a serious problem because its victims are becoming younger and younger. And osteoporosis is caused by the diverse lifestyles of modern society. Caring for bone health after loss of bone density is ineffective. If we take care of our bone health and not overlook it in our youth, then we will be healthy in our middle and old ages.